Very good morning to all of you.
Welcome to Plant Physiology class.
With that introduction, I think we can start our ride to this new area of, you know, plant physiology. So when it comes to this course, I'm the coordinator of the course, and you're going to meet two of our academic staff members in the future. And that includes Prashantika Perera and then Miss Buddhika Patirana. And as always, you are uh, always welcome to contact us with if any questions related to the course you have, and then you can send us an email or you can make an appointment and talk to us, and then so all the other means you can access us is given here. And so never hesitate to contact us. We are more than happy to help you. And so this is going to be a very fun ride for next 10 weeks, assuming the non-academic staff strike is not going to get over. If they're going to finish it, then that will be a different story. But that's that's for another day. So we are going to continue with whatever the timetable faculty is having at right now, and future is not for us to see. Okay, so when it comes to plant physiology, so that basically covers so many different aspects. So when you think about a plant, so unlike us, when there's something, so imagine there's a cockroach or spider, and I know some of you are afraid of cockroaches and spiders. So what you're going to do, you're basically going to run away from the spider, and then to save yourself. But when you think about plants, they don't have that option. Why? Because so they're sessile organisms. Sessile means they are basically anchored to one place, so therefore they can't move. So now imagine in every second, whatever the surrounding environment is going to change, and they need to basically they're basically exposed to that condition, and then but they have no other option but to cope, or with the stress condition, or whatever the changing condition, or die. So those are the two options they have in place in order to survive or die. And what we do is basically, so we are relying on plants, right? They're the number one source of energy for us and animals, and they are doing photosynthesis in order to do that. That's something we are going to discuss later. And as you can see, we are going to think about plants as living organism, as well as the our major food supply. So therefore it is important for us to understand what is happening inside. So as a human, you always think about okay, so there's so maybe cholesterol or maybe sugar. So and why? Because they're basically affecting our physiological processes. And then we take precautions, or if we are sick, we take medicine. So likewise, we need to understand the plant physiological processes in order to increase the yield and make them tolerant or resistant to different various biotic and abiotic conditions surrounding the plant. And so when it comes to I think I almost forgot, I wanted to introduce myself. So, and my name is Vendra Herat, and I'm a professor at Department of Agricultural Biology. And so my research, what I do is basically I study how different stress conditions, both biotic and abiotic, is going to affect the plant. Especially, I look at plants at molecular level. So what we do is we do is basically we look at the changes in gene expression in response to different changing environment or stresses. As a result, so we will get whatever the mysteries hidden inside this genome in the genes, and then later on we can basically look at those genes and then make plant optimum to withstand these various stressful conditions. And I mean, even if you're a molecular biologist, the good thing is both us as well as plants, they have DNA, RNA, and protein. So therefore, I'm not restricted to plant biology. I do various projects with various other collaborators or research partners, from human studies to insect studies. I think you met Dr. Vikum. So with Dr. Vikum, we are basically studying all the bee species in Sri Lanka, and then we are trying to assemble what their genetic component or their genome using new this next generation techniques. So therefore you're not restricted to a plant, so but you can study from microbes or viruses to any living organism you can think of, assuming viruses as living organisms as it. So moving on, um, so I thought it's better to have a couple of questions for you. So I will first put the questions, and then I let you think for 15 seconds about this, because everything is controlled by the genetic components of organisms. So but for it's same for us as well. So as a human, um, so do you know how many genes in your body? Because good old days, so people thought, okay, so there are there are 100,000 genes, because they were um, they were around 3,000, 300,000 different protein products, and the codon. So there's three nucleotides coding for one protein. So this is a rough estimate. But now with the advancement of science, so now we basically have a very good idea about how many protein coding genes and how many non-protein coding genes in our body. And so if you think about plants, how about in our main staple food, rice? So how many protein coding genes in there, and how many non-protein coding genes are there? So therefore, I'll let you think for 10 seconds, and then I will give you the answer. So let me count backward: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Let's say. So if you think about your body, so there are around 19,000 or close to 20,000 genes. Those are coding for proteins. And then there are more than 26,000 non-protein coding genes, because good old days people thought, okay, genes are there to code protein, but now it's a different story. And how about plants? Do they have less or more? So I will upload a paper. It's about a fern, and why it's so cool. So that's some you can go and check your eHub, and I'll upload it today, or later today, for you to look at it. So when you look at the rice plants, so there are around 35,000 protein coding genes, and they have around 3,000 non-protein coding genes. So therefore so you can see when you compare with humans, sometimes plants, they have way more genes than the human. So therefore who's the boss, who's the most intelligent? So that's a topic for another day. And so we have cool techniques. So if you look at the right hand image, you can see there's a fluorescent parts. And so this is basically one of the experiment I did. So where we can basically trace the virus movement using just just UV light, and everywhere where it moves, so there's a fluorescent. So it's a cool things to do. So therefore So pick science, and science is wonderful. And I mean, if you have a passion, so there's so many things to do. Okay, so moving forward. So when it comes to plant physiology, our Bible is the Plant Physiology and Development by Tyson Seeger. So this is the textbook we are going to use, and then the sixth edition is available in your library. But I know these days you can't access library now, so therefore, for my lecture component, I will upload the relevant chapter, and so please read, and then try to understand this the cool mechanisms behind plant physiology, or plant different physiological systems. And then don't worry, there's a lot of information, but I will make sure that I will highlight the pages those are important for you, at least then you have a basic idea about what we are doing, because um, having a textbook is always important, where you can go and check whatever. I mean, you can get all the clarification for your questions, and we are also there, so you can either read the book if you don't want to interact with us. If not, so you're free to come and get your questions clarified. And so the next is so what is plant physiology? So the moment you hear the term physiology, actually, though it's a single word, it derived from two different words. So one is called physis, and then so that stands for function, and then logos means science. So therefore, physiology is basically the science of studying functions in plant biology. Okay, so now, when it comes to physiology, probably you're thinking, okay, who introduced the term physiology? Well, I mean, going back, physis and logos means basically function of science, and we call it as physiology. And so, as I mentioned earlier, so the question, the term physiology is introduced by a scientist known as Gene Sensible. And then he wrote this book. It's called the Physiology Vegetale. So therefore, like many science discoveries, the plant scientists played a major role, because so they were sometimes 100 years ahead of the animal science people. So therefore, even if you think about physiology first, people talk about physiology about vegetables. So the plants, in in very long time ago, compared to the human physiology and biochemistry. So this book basically not only gene sensible stuff, and it included Malfigi, Priestley, Ingenhouse, as well as Huber. I think during A-level chemistry, you heard about these scientists. So now that leads us to a question. Who's the father of plant physiology? So now there's one person, and then are there many fathers, or there's just one father? So that is something for us to think. Let's see.
I am the Father.
Knew I am the Father.
Dream on buggers, I am the father.
I guess now you realize the dilemma. So basically, so we are considering all three of these people as a kind of father plant physiology. But end of the day, Hales is considered as the most prominent person. So therefore, many scientists tend to believe that, or not believe, actually, consider or recognize Hales as the father of plant physiology. And when it comes to the different fields covered under plant physiology, so that includes the mineral nutrition, plant movement, water relation, environmental factors, and also the photosynthesis, plant growth and development, respiration, and not only the plant system level, but also plant cell level, cell physiology. So those parts will be covered under plant physiology as well. So therefore, during this course, you're going to cover most of these aspects that are important for the plant survival and plant growth and development. Okay.